Good morning. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., an alternative parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard.
Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Today we have the Wisconsin Green Party, who's going to talk about all the exciting things they believe in and all the exciting things they do. So welcome to the podcast.
Greetings. This is VD Kingfisher. We are in northern Wisconsin. I am the Northern Wisconsin co-chair of the Wisconsin Green Party. And the Green Party, you know us, we're the good team. We aren't trying to hurt or kill anyone. We are not going to execute anybody, though we do and will confront harmful people who do harm people. We are nonviolent. We are peaceful. So there's 4 basics for us. And the first one is peace and nonviolence. The second one is ecology and sustainability. The third is social and economic justice. And the fourth is grassroots democracy and decentralization. Where would you like to take this interview?
Let's get started by you. You say you're in North Wisconsin. I got a big part of my start of progressive politics was in Wisconsin. I was in Stevens Point. How close are you to Stevens Point?
About other side diagonal of the state. It's a unique little point here. We're about half an hour from Michigan and an hour from Minnesota and 5 minutes from Canada. If you walk down to Lake Superior and go wading, you're on your way to Canada. And the culture is a real mix of places, although it is one big place, that is for sure. It's a small interconnected community, and there have been all kinds of politics. We have a lot of room for diversity here in Ashland, Wisconsin. We've got everybody from the right-wing circles in local politics to communists and anarchists at the city council. So we get along. That's one of the tenets here is there's a lot of diversity and a lot of getting along.
Excellent. So how did you get involved in the Green Party in the first place? What led you to the Green Party?
Well, I was raised Democratic. My parents voted Democratic. And I think it was really back at the millennial time, around 2000, with the Nader campaign. I was getting my biology degree and working in some anthropology areas. And I was really impressed with Nader and had a lot of hope. And that political time was real eye-opening disillusionment. If there was any time for the Democrats to stand up and assert their, rights was then, but it seemed like the entire establishment, was unified between the Democrats and Republicans that they were going to have their racist Middle Eastern crusade war, and that's what it was about, and we really got rolled. And I voted for Obama once I saw that, he was, sort of the mean kid on the block killing people with his remote control airplanes. I didn't want to vote for him anymore. He slipped through that assassination program that the Republicans really used after his time, and I was very disappointed that the Democrats squandered their opportunities to protect the planet when they could.
Sure, understandable. So what issues is Wisconsin facing that the Green Party of Wisconsin is addressing?
Well, one of the main things, I'll say there's few things in life that are more robust and clear as the amount of money that influences political opinion. It's really Pavlovian. You pour more money into political messaging and people tend to just respond and go that way. Well, in the natural world, there's few things more robust and clear than the relationship between greenhouse gases and temperature. So we have this weird phenomena where the rich are really celebrating and owning and rigging the system. And it's really easy for the Democrats and the Republicans to point at each other and say, well, the system's rigged. Well, it's rigged for both of them. I don't really think it's a two-party system. They're really about the same stuff, basically. And environmental catastrophe and just Pavlovian conditioning are running counter to each other at this point. Environmental issues are huge. Mining is a contentious issue where we've been on the threat of being poisoned and our water turned against us and water stolen. We're really protecting the environment as much as we can. And then the other big issue is CAFOs, confined animal operations, which also are an environmental polluting issue. And while economics are certainly an issue, jobs people need and all that, but what we're finding is we're in a sweet spot. We got water. And people from all over the country, we're getting environmental migrants, the ritzy and the desperate kind. People are coming from all over to enjoy the safety of the lakes. And we're really doing a lot of planning for the future. And so we've got it good with resources, and we're just trying to keep it good with resources.
Sure. So you mentioned the term queso. Is that factory farming?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a lot of propositions to bring in huge animal operations, and it would drastically impact the water. We already, when the storms hit, we'll have the human wastewater overflowing and flowing into the lake, and then we have warnings where people can't go into the lake while the feces is in there. So we don't need more feces building up and spilling into our water.
So what is your solution to the factory farm issue?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because our solution to the factory farm issue is the same solution to the climate crisis. We need local agriculture. We don't need to be transporting food all over the place. And the other thing about local agriculture is you build soil. You create a carbon sink. You are putting carbon back into the earth. And it's nothing fancy technological. Back in the 50s, half of America was farming, and then big agriculture took over, and it's down to 2 to 3% are involved in agriculture. We really need to get a massive mobilization of people feeding themselves locally and creating the carbon soil sinks that will save the planet.
All right. What type of activist activities is your party engaging in right now?
Well, fundamentally, we are an electoral organization. We are getting people elected into official positions. Now, we have all kinds of advocacies and affinity groups and, local connections, empowering people, and that's very good. But we are fundamentally trying to create green government. We are going to form a green government. And at all levels, local, state, federal, tribal, we are engaging people to step up to those leadership positions. And also within the party, we have a lot of committees that run the daily business and the big events that we do, the fundraising. We are a member organization. We only get money from our members, and we really want people to be using talents and skills and stepping up into those elected positions and representing the health and future of us all.
Sounds good. When I was in Wisconsin, one of my friends who was a Green Party member got elected to the city council, so it's definitely possible. So what elections are you looking for coming up?
Oh, everything from sheriffs to United States senators. I think as far as actual representation that we've achieved, it's probably been at the mid to large city size in terms of city councils and mayors. But we are looking particularly at county clerks. We want to get a lot of county clerk green people there. And but across the board, we're doing pushes to be on the ballot and to be seen.
Sounds like a plan. So for county clerk, how does a county clerk implement a green vision?
Well, it's important just to have somebody that is on the phone daily representing, and as long as there's people that are well versed in the basic principles, the four that I mentioned, peace, nonviolence, ecological sustainability, social economic justice, and grassroots democracy, then, you have a spokesperson. And a lot of times we find that across party lines, the personable connections make a huge difference. As long as there's somebody there to raise the point, people get past the Pavlovian conditioning and can see the human value of helping each other. And essentially that's what we're doing, and we just need good people to step forward and be a steadfast voice at the local level.
So you see a county clerk as a spokesperson position?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They know the ins and outs, and it's kind of they have the keys to the institution. They're sort of on the doorway, and it's a low level, personable. You don't have so much of the stress of being a main spokesperson, also with alternative bought out money trying to get your favor. So in a lot of ways, county clerk is an excellent entry point for people.
Sounds like a good plan.
Thanks.
So what is your strategy, if it's not top secret, of how you're going to get into these positions?
Well, there's a great phenomena of grassroots organizing where, like I just mentioned, you kind of can cut past some of the party line politics simply by being a human face, showing human emotion. And, a lot of what we're doing at state level inside the party is we spent a year really consolidating here in Wisconsin, trying to get everybody on board with the values. And I think that we really did that internal work. And so now we have a great crew of people that are very outspoken, and we are recruiting our friends. We are stepping up to local events, farmers markets, conversation groups, book clubs. We're really shifting from internal Wisconsin Green Party organization to external and recruitment. And so it's really personality contingent. We are our own advocates, and we are empowering our friends as much as we can.
So since one of your values is grassroots democracy, kindly explain the consensus decision-making model that your Green Party and other Green parties use.
Right. It's a little different. There's a little bit of conversation method that somebody coming into the Green Party has to use. One of the things we're indigenous led. We always recognize the indigenous land that we are benefiting from wherever we're at. And drawing from the talking circle where one person can hold the feather and say what they feel they need to say and then pass it on to, we have a system of talking where basically it's called stack. Everybody forwards your wish to speak and you get on stack, and when you say as much as you need to say, and when you're done you say pass, and the next person on the stack gets that turn. And it's really a catchy way of talking that we refer to, we go to in our meetings and in our public discourse. And it's a real respect-based way of sharing time and listening. And it's kind of a progressive stack. The people that haven't spoken so much get, extra turns into the top of the stack, So that type of communication really helps. And even if we're not using the words stack and pass, it kind of conditions us to be able to do that.
Interesting. So for the elections in 2022, are all of them at November, or are they some on different dates?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're all November, though the organizing and the work is certainly stretched out before and beyond.
Sure. Interesting. It sounds like you got a lot of good stuff going on.
Well, it's a critical time, I mean, the world's in some dire crisis, and the Green Party's international. We've got quite a history that goes beyond. I mean, we've got higher representation in other countries, particularly New Zealand's doing great. And, we draw on each other's strengths across national borders, and there is a great global push for a new way of which is actually an old way of sustainable living, and we're really the political vehicle for that.
Yes. So for our listeners out there, whether they live in Wisconsin or elsewhere, how can they support your party?
Well, the four values are we want your time, we want your talent, we want your skills and your consideration, and eventually, that type of community or grassroots organizing will make a difference. Of course, we want people to be peaceful, nonviolent. We want consideration for the natural and humane world. One of the things I want to say is I think the military has this undue fascination with competition. I'm an ecologist, and the natural world functions far more in cooperation and balance, and that is sustainability. And that can be mirrored with social and economic justice within our humane society. And it's really dependent on the grassroots, because we are not going to take corporate dollars. We are always going to be facing off against the Pavlovian big dollar. And it's just obvious the world is not going to go on like it has. I mean, the world is changing fast. It's going to change, and we are the ones that recognize it. And get on board and help yourselves, help your friends, family, neighbors. Green Party is the way.
What is your website?
Well, you can Google Green Party. We're a national organization, so really, honestly, we have to defer to the National Green Party organizing. And
okay.
You'll find all of the best information there. I'm an indigenous anarchist leading eco-socialists. Eco-socialism is the phrase that most Wisconsin Green Party people identify with, although I feel like we have to function healthy as individuals before we can collectively have that interdependence that is necessary for massive social action and change.
Okay. So the Green Party national website is the best place for someone who wants to get involved in Green Party to go.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Thank you kindly for coming on our podcast today and sharing all the great things that the Green Party of Wisconsin is doing.
Thanks for being a kind and caring person. And yes, there are many political parties, although I think there's just one ruling corporate party, and we are knocking on the door for the next best thing. The old way is the new way, and we all must respect each other. Thank you very much.
All the best to you and your party.
Great. We're partying on.
Bye now.